Hi guys, and welcome back to the Landman Builds channel. This video is the first episode of building Kingsworthy, which is going to be a series on the channel where I, you guessed it, build Kingsworthy, which is my Winchester inspired town. So, in the last video we built Kingsworthy Cathedral, and now we're going to make the cathedral close, because right now the town looks quite bare, as there's only a giant cathedral here, so technically it has a population of 0 workers, but far too many priests. So, these first buildings I put in were from an old world. They actually came from Salisbury and are part of the cathedral close there. There's some beautiful Georgian townhouses, including Mompesson House, which was built in 1701, which I really wanted to fit into Kingsworthy somehow. I had to update the textures on some houses a bit, as the texture pack I'm using is retextured a few blocks. I also had to remove a bit of an overlapping garden from the back, which, in the world I took these from, was part of the arms house, which will be built in Kingsworthy at some point. I still need to integrate this row of houses, especially the gardens, into the landscape fully, but I'll do that when I build the surrounding streets, as otherwise it could get quite messy. So, on this next house, I started by continuing the flint wall around to the front of the inner close. This texture of cobblestone, tube coral, fire coral and horn coral is one of my favourites for making flint walls, and I recommend that you try it. I went a bit closer to home with this one, as it comes from Winchester. This house is from the inner close and is a lovely Georgian house, which is very hard to find images of, and the one you're seeing right now I didn't find until after I built the house, so it's a bit inaccurate, but I still like it. For this next house, I needed to change the shape of the inner close so it would fit from being a square to being more like a triangle and a square stuck together. It's the only way I can think of describing it. Well, the house that's going in this spot is one of the most beautiful and most horrible buildings I have ever built. It's beautiful because in real life it's such a weird and wacky building, having been built and patched up with bricks over the years as it's got old. And it's horrible because it's just so difficult to bring into Minecraft. The windows were especially difficult as I tried trapdoors and they didn't work, I tried without trapdoors and I got this result, but I'm not completely happy with it, so I may revisit it and have another try later on, but it's going to stay like that for now. And finally, the last house on this tour is this Jacobean beauty. It doesn't have any fancy gables or go over the top, but it translates really well into Minecraft and I love the way it turns out. This could be my favourite house in this episode, just because of how well the design works with blocks. But that rounds it off for this episode of Building Kingsworthy. There were supposed to be more buildings shown in this episode, but it would have just made it too long, and I've made at least double the amount that I've shown here. So expect another Building Kingsworthy episode soon. And after I've finished landscaping the front gardens of these houses, I'll cut to a cinematic showing off all the new building. Also, if you've watched this far, please remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment about which house is your favourite. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.
You